When buying a house, agents, lenders, and even sellers will ask you certain questions that may benefit them more than you. But knowing what to say or knowing what not to say is equally important. And it's about your money and your control. And that's why I'm doing this video. It's to educate the public. So if you haven't done so already, go ahead and subscribe. My name's Jerry Pinkas, and I've been doing this for the last 20 years. And people say to me, yeah, Jerry, but you're a realtor. You're part of the problem. Well, they don't have a clue about who I actually am. I grew up in a working class blue collar neighborhood, and this is the stuff I had to learn, and nobody told me this stuff. And the truth is, my team has helped thousands and thousands of people to find their hidden gem and to avoid the pitfalls that are costly. And I want to share this information with you. So go ahead and give me a thumbs up if you're good with that. Now, here's 7 questions that you never want to answer when you're buying a house. And here they are in descending order. Number 7, what's your monthly budget? Sellers, agents, and lenders, they're sometimes going to ask you how much you can afford in a monthly payment. And this isn't a used car lot, guys. You only want to focus on things that are important. And if you focus only on the monthly payment, then you completely lose sight of the actual cost of that house. Now, for example, an adjustable rate mortgage, an ARM, can be a problem because the interest rate can change over time. So when you first get that ARM rate, it might be low. Then your monthly payments, they're low. But then the rate can go up in a few years and making your payments even higher. So if the interest rates increase a lot, you can pay much more than you actually expected, which can be a super financial strain for you. Another trap is that the monthly payment actually looks lower because it's a longer loan period with a higher interest rate. So you want to watch out for this. The lower payment might feel good for your budget right now because it's stretched out over a longer time with a higher interest rate. But the home's total cost could end up over time being much more expensive. So a simple way to respond to this is saying, look, I want to focus on the total price of the home rather than the monthly payment. And this way, you can keep focus on the actual price that you're going to be paying for that house. Number 6, watch out for the up-and-coming neighborhood. Now, the second thing to watch out for is when sellers talk about up-and-coming neighborhoods. Now, you might hear this area is an up-and-coming where property values are going to rise soon. Hey, that's not always a given. The idea to make the property sound like it's an exciting investment to a buyer, but sometimes that's true and sometimes it's not. And I've seen some of the cases of the worst case scenario where properties go up in value based on pure speculation. Then they crash later with promises that aren't met. So instead of just taking their word for it, use real estate data. Now, real estate depends on various factors depending upon where it is in that area. You want to look at the values because the values can go up, but they can also stay the same or even drop. So rely on something other than your Google search because everything on the internet's not accurate or true. Do your actual research. Number 5, you can have a better interest rate if you go through our lender. Now, this is another scenario that some new home communities, they actually use this tactic. Now, some may suggest to use their lender and they can offer you a better interest rate, but this could be a shell game, guys. Many times these lenders may not be the best deal on the market. So you got to compare all your options because I've seen some where they actually make it up in the add-on fees or inflated fees that are hidden within that contract. Now, you may actually get a lower interest rate, but you may also get some crazy application fees and processing fees and higher fees to run your credit or your appraisal or document fees. So just compare all your options. And if you're working with a local real estate expert who actually does hundreds of transactions a year, they're going to know where the best communities are, and they're also going to know where the worst communities are. So if you use this to your advantage, you can get help in finding the best choice for your local area. And we can hook you up with your local expert. Just pick up the phone, give us a call at our office, and we'll help you with that part. Number 4, sellers selling a house in as-is condition. Now, a lot of times you come across statements or questions from the seller, and a typical scenario for this is they try to sell the house in as-is condition. But when a seller says as-is, this typically means that they expect you to accept a home that's in its current state without negotiation or repairs. So often this as-is is a clue that the property has costly problems. Now, the house may or may not be a good deal, but you'll always want to pay for a professional home inspection so that you can actually make an intelligent decision whether it's just right or wrong for you. So the inspection is essential because it's going to save you from potentially high repair costs that could catch you off guard after the sale. Now, if you're not comfortable with the results of this home inspection, this is a good option for you because you can walk away from this deal, or you can also be in a solid position to negotiate. Why? Because now you're in a position where the seller might realize, hey, there's issues that are going to scare off these future potential home buyers as well. and I've got somebody who's willing and ready and able to buy. Now, another strategy would be to handle repair cost negotiations very carefully. Any issues that come up during the inspection, you may want to consider the negotiating for a credit or a price reduction rather than asking the seller to make for those repairs. Now, a straightforward way and approach is by asking, hey, would the seller be open to offering a credit or a price reduction to cover those costs? Now, let's say that you stay in control, and then you can control when the repairs are done and the materials and the contractors that fit your budget and your preferences. Number 3, long-term versus short-term loans. Now, mortgage brokers, they'll have some trick questions for you depending on who you actually use. Now, I've seen some good, but I've also seen some bad. And a broker might ask, how long of a loan are you comfortable with? And you'll notice that they often suggest that longer loan terms, labeling them as more comfortable. But are they? In reality, the longer the loan, the more interest you're going to pay over time. So overall, this could mean that you're spending actually thousands and thousands of dollars more than if you chose a shorter term loan. So think about it. Maybe a 15-year loan is the best option for you, depending upon where you are and what you're doing. Or they may suggest that pay points up front for a lower interest rate, saying this is going to save you money every single month. But points are only going to make sense if you're planning on staying in that home for a long time. And if you're not, that extra money that you spend up front for these points, it's going to be wasted. So choose carefully. Number 2, emotional appeal. Now, sometimes sellers will use the emotional appeal to make their house look like it's more valuable. And they would say, this home has so much potential for the right buyer. Now, potential, just make sure you don't fall in love and overlook those structural issues and things like old appliances or dated designs. That's money. That's your money. But remember that the potential usually is not perfect. Now, even if the house does have potential, it may not fit you. So when you hear something like this, try to shift your focus back to the concrete details. The simple way to do this is by asking about the home's current condition and the recent updates. And knowing this stuff and knowing what it will cost to get that house back into 100% perfect shape, this is going to help you keep a budget and avoid last-minute surprises. Number 1, how much are you planning to put down? Now, this is not always a bad question, but be careful about why this question is actually being asked. Now, some may use this question to see if they can sell you a higher priced home or they want to stretch your budget. On the other hand, it may be a legitimate question. For example, if it's an investment property, lenders are going to want 20 or 25% down, not the typical 5 or 10% down. Or if the property that you're purchasing is not a condo, but it's a condo-tel, a vacation rental, lenders are going to require more down. And the lender may actually just want to set up expectations up front so there's no problems. It's also going to depend on what type of property it is that you're purchasing though. But your agent suggesting homes outside the very top of your budget, that's a warning sign. That's a reason for caution. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like it and let me know your thoughts down below in the comments. I'm Jerry with Jerry Pinkas Real Estate Experts. My real estate team is here to help you find your hidden gem and to avoid those pitfalls that are costly. So if you're considering buying or selling property here in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, or anywhere in the United States, I can hook you up with your local real estate expert. Give us a call at 843-839-9870. My team has actually helped thousands and thousands of people. And we've seen just about everything when it comes to real estate, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I want to make sure that you're not getting average. I want to make sure you're getting way above average and your best options when it comes to your time. So wherever you are and whatever you're doing, I hope you're having a fantastic day. See you soon.